As you may know, international trade in bananas started in Jamaica from as early as the 1800s. Trade from the New World as we were to the European market, mainly the UK, started with just carrying bunches in ships to the UK. Ironically, the tourist trade started with that. We took bananas to the UK and we brought tourists back. Many of the persons who worked in the banana industry made their first trip overseas in those same banana boats going to the UK. So over the years, that industry grew. The traders, the shippers, they got a lot of small farmers to grow bananas so that they could take them from Port Antonio to the UK. In fact, by the time we got to independence, the economy of Jamaica was largely based on the banana industry, as well as some of the other commodities. But the industry had some issues. First of all, they had issues of market, currently the same as we have now, meaning that farmers wanted the best price and the traders wanted to pay the least price. So that created an issue, and that issue was solved by putting in place a banana board that would negotiate the price for banana farmers in Jamaica and intervene or intercede on their behalf to the traders in the UK. The industry is now more local, but the quality standards still remain. We, Jamaica, want to eat a clean fruit, a safe fruit, so we still have our quality standards. The Banana Board still monitors that. We still export, but we have exported. We've changed our export target markets. We now export mainly to the diaspora. We export to North America rather to the UK because we're feeding our people who are overseas. And we export in our region, which helps us with pricing and distance. So we know, even though our export quantities are much smaller, the price we get per kg is much better than what most people get over the world. We're not exporting so much for ripe fruit. We're not competing with the big guys from Central America and South America. We are selling mostly green fruit because we in the diaspora would like to eat a fruit that tastes like what it tastes like at home. If you eat a fruit in the US or Canada, you know it's very different. So we tap into that market, which is very good for us.
Welcome to the pathology lab where we do Black Sigatoka sensitivity testing. But first, what is Black Sigatoka? Black Sigatoka is a leaf spot disease of banana plants, and it is caused by Ascomycetes fungus called the Mycosphaerella stridgensis. It is also called black leaf streak. Here in the pathology lab, we monitor susceptible crops for resistance of the disease to fungicides that are necessary to control the disease, such as tilt, topsin, to name a few. The process is called fungicide sensitivity monitoring. This is important to ensure that farmers are using the correct amount of fungicide. Also, sensitivity monitoring prevents or delays the development of resistant strains of the disease from becoming established. Because of this proactive approach by the Banana Board, the fungicides currently used to control the disease remain effective. The Titoculture Lab is our food security and disease mitigation strategy. It is a process by which plants are taken into the laboratory, processed and fed under sterile conditions, producing clean planting material to farmers. Welcome to Banana Board's PCR lab, where we do diagnostic tests for TR4 disease. Firstly, what is PCR? PCR is short for polymerase chain reaction. It is a process where very small amounts of DNA, or what you would call genetic material, which is extracted from the banana or the planting sample, is multiplied to produce millions, even billion copies of DNA. Having a large quantity of DNA will allow us to detect the fungus efficiently. Samples brought to the lab will undergo 3 types of diagnostic assays. These include conventional PCR, real-time PCR, and LAMP. All 3 diagnostic tools operate under the basic PCR principle. However, each method has its advantages.
I'm Elaine Garwood, and you are in the Chemical Analytical Laboratory of the Banana Board. In this laboratory, we collect leaf and soil samples from bananas and plantains to do nutrient determination in these fields and the status of the nutrients in plants. We have field officers who are the ones who would collect the samples. They are filling out information as they collect the samples regarding the fields. The forms would allow them to have state their name of the collector, the nutrients for which they are doing analysis, and most times we do the full range of analysis that we undertake, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, shortening, we call that NPK. And those are the major nutrients. Secondary nutrients are calcium and magnesium, and the trace elements is copper, manganese, iron, and zinc. We also do soil pH, which is to determine the acidity or alkalinity of the soil.
So we ourselves in the Banana Board have looked at ripening bananas to sell to dormitory institutions. So at the Borders Banana Research Station, where we do a lot of our research, we also have a commercial arm where we not only produce bananas to sell to the army, who was giving soldiers bread for breakfast, who now have bananas to give them for breakfast. We have gone into commercial production to help to defray some costs. Government don't have enough money to cover our costs. We have also moved into something that is not very popular in Jamaica. We eat a lot of bananas green because banana is a staple and it's the cheapest starch there is. So we are developing peeling the banana, packaging it, vacuum packing it, and making that available. So you'll see the Banana Board brand in the supermarket to make that available. We have also been approached by people overseas to make that available to them overseas. So we are going into that as well. So we are developing the value-added side of the industry. And we're not doing it just for ourselves. We really want the farmers, the entrepreneurs to come into it as well. There are much more things that can be done. The purees, as I spoke about, the flour that we use that are coming from, can all be produced here. Now, if that is done, then our industry can grow, farmers can have more markets, and we ourselves will be eating what we eat, what we grow, not what is imported. There's much room for growth for our production and our yield productivity. And as that grows, we hope that we will have less imports and more of our production supplying our local market, as well as the export markets as they make themselves available.